Hey there, 7th grade programmers. Welcome to another Explainer. Today, we're stepping right into the digital garage. I want you to picture the raw, messy text data in your code as, well, kind of like a sputtering engine that just rolled into the shop. It's rough, it's totally unpredictable, and it desperately needs fixing up before it can hit the road. Today, you're the mechanics, and we're going to learn exactly how to pop the hood on that text data and get it running beautifully.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll figure out what string manipulation actually is, look at built-in string methods, learn to tame those tricky escape characters, do some formatting and cleaning, go over how to avoid common mistakes, and wrap up by putting together your brand new text toolbox.
All right, let's jump straight into section 1. What is string manipulation? It's time to enter the data garage.
So that brings us to the big essential question for Unit 8. How can programs analyze and transform text? This is the core mission of our explainer today. Because think about it, when people type info into a computer, like a name, maybe an address, or a password, they definitely don't always do it perfectly. Sometimes they mash the spacebar or totally forget to use capital letters. If our programs can't analyze and fix that wonky text, the whole thing just breaks down.
So let's nail down exactly what we're talking about here. Just like a mechanic needs to know what an engine is, we need to define our main focus. String manipulation is literally just the process of analyzing, changing, and formatting text data in programming to make it useful. It's taking that raw, kind of messy input from a user and molding it into clean, reliable data that your program can actually use.
Moving right along to Section 2, using built-in string methods. These are going to be your primary tools.
Okay, so to actually change our text, we use something called a string method. What is that? Well, a string method is just a built-in action or tool in Python that performs a specific operation directly on a string. You can think of methods as, ready-made actions. You don't have to invent a hammer from scratch every single time you need to drive a nail, right? Python hands you the hammer, and you just get to swing it. It's a huge time saver and keeps us from having to write a ton of complex code.
Let's crack open our Python toolbox and look at the most common methods we'll be using. We've got .lower, which basically shrinks everything down to lowercase. Then there's .upper, making everything uppercase. .replace is awesome because it lets you swap out specific words or characters. Then we have .strip. .strip is absolutely crucial. It powers off those annoying accidental spaces at the beginning or end of a word. And finally, .title, which capitalizes the first letter of every word exactly like a book title. To give you a super clear picture of what this looks like, check this out. When we take the string hello in all lowercase and we slap our tool onto it, .upper with the parentheses, boom, the result is hello in all caps. The method basically acts like a giant megaphone for your code's text, transforming it in a flash.
All right, on to Section 3, taming tricky escape characters. This is all about formatting on the fly.
Now, sometimes you don't just want to change the actual letters. You want to change how the text sits on the screen itself. The wild thing is, an escape character isn't a letter or symbol you actually see in the final text. Nope, it's a special code starting with a backslash that tells Python to perform a hidden formatting command. They're invisible instructions that tell the computer exactly how you want your string displayed.
Let's walk through a quick cheat sheet of the trickiest, but honestly most useful escape characters out there. If you type \n, that's your new line command. It just instantly shoves whatever text follows it down to the next line. Then we've got \t for tab, which indents your text with a nice clean block of space, super perfect for lining up menus or lists. And because the backslash is our special command key, if you literally just want to print a normal backslash on the screen, you've got to type two of them, \\.
Okay, let's see this in the real world in Section 4, formatting and cleaning data. Time to see the mechanic in action.
Let's put this into a totally practical workflow. Say you're building a database for your school, right? And a student types their profile name in completely wrong. Step 1, we receive that messy input. Step 2, we grab our .strip tool and literally power wash away all the random blank spaces they left at the start and end. Step 3, we hit it with .title to properly capitalize their first and last name. We're taking sloppy user data and fixing it, so our program runs like a dream.
I mean, just look at this before and after. We start with a total disaster. Extra spaces everywhere, a lowercase j, a weird uppercase O, a lowercase s. It's kind of chaotic. But the second we use .strip followed by .title, boom, out pops John Smith, perfectly spaced and capitalized. If this doesn't prove the incredible power of string methods, I don't know what does.
You're literally taking junk data and turning it into gold.
Moving to Section 5, Avoiding Common String Mistakes. Let's talk about some common mechanic pitfalls.
Okay, we really need to tackle a huge myth here. A lot of folks think that strings change forever the second you use a method on them. Like if you type hello.upper, you'd think that string is permanently stuck in uppercase inside your computer's memory forever. But actually, strings in Python are immutable. That's just a fancy computer science word that means unchangeable. The original text never actually changes. If you want to keep that cool new uppercase version, you absolutely have to save those changes to a new variable.
I really can't emphasize this enough. You've got to remember to save your work. Using a tool doesn't permanently change the material unless you actually bolt it down. You always need to reassign your clean text to a variable. For example, you'd code something like clean_name equals messy_name dot strip. If you forget to save it to that clean_name variable, your freshly washed data just vanishes into thin air. Poof, gone.
And that brings us to Section 6, our wrap-up, your text toolbox. You are officially ready to code. Look at everything we've knocked out today. We've successfully wielded string methods like .upper and .title. We've completely formatted output using those hidden escape characters like newlines and tabs. We've cleaned up messy text data by stripping away those annoying extra spaces, and we now understand the actual logic required to create solid text processing programs. We've gone from just being passive consumers of digital text to active problem-solving creators. So as we roll down the garage doors on today's explainer, I'll leave you with one final question to think about. What messy, real-world data are you going to clean up next with your new toolkit? Maybe it's a high score list for a video game, a sloppy survey form, or even building an interactive chatbot. Whatever it is, you now have the power to fix and fine-tune any text-based program you run into. Keep coding, keep tinkering, and I will see you next time.